Hello, my name is Parker, this is the Stanley Parable, and I've decided I'm just not going to try with this intro. So last time we started the game up and we beat the game, and then we beat it a different way and completely broke the game by doing the opposite of what the narrator told us to do. And I think we're going to try some different things this time, see if we can get any different endings. Because
all of his co-workers were gone.
There's more to
what
this.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And I think... what do I want to do? I remember last time when we went to that ending that ended with me dying, I stayed in that one room, and I want to try...
when Stanley came to a set of
leaving
two open doors,
and see if I can go
he
outside.
entered the door on his left.
I can't remember which way it was. I'm going to go right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Which way was... I can't remember. We had to go down the stairs, didn't we, to get to the...
And so he detoured through the
garage
maintenance
area
section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find it. Coming to a staircase,
I'm hoping
Stanley
the ending is
walked
different and not just the
upstairs
same
to
one
his
again.
boss's office.
It's this way, nothing? Yeah, this is where we were.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of
See if
facing his
there's anything
boss,
over here.
admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Oh yeah, this is a new area.
All because he believed everyone had vanished.
It's an exit.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as
Well, that's
Stanley pondered
interesting.
this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
So it's just an
And
infinite
for
loop.
that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself.
That last statement didn't even make any sense because I was staying in the same room the whole time. Oh, crap. My newest Windows feature update is here. Wow. Snooze.
He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief.
So it looks like this
Stanley
is just
felt
the same
to
ending.
have finally found an answer.
So I'm going to get through
an
this and then I'll
explanation.
just cut back in.
His
when we
co-workers
get
weren't
somewhere
actually
new.
gone. He wasn't going to lose his...
We'll just quit out of that. Because we've already seen that ending. Unless there is something different, I don't know. Crap, now I want to go back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What, can I open these? Guess not. An interesting idea. What if I go back? No?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's... Okay, I know what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to go back to that room with the mind control device, and I'm going to turn it on and see what happens.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Is the code different every time?
Yet incredibly, by simply
feels
pushing
different
random
than before.
buttons on the keypad,
It's been a while since I
Stanley
played this,
happened
I
to
can't remember.
input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened
Oh,
passageway.
there's also that room with the telephone. I wonder what happens if we answer it. We should do that too next. Awkward loading screens.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So I'm gonna turn
Stanley
on.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Actually, I'm gonna take the escape first. Then we'll do the other.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Cool.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ooh, it's getting... Is it getting narrower, or is it just me? Ooh. Let's go. Oh. It's a death pit. And somehow that didn't kill me.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
No way.
Farewell, Stanley.
This is it. Oh.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What? Okay. Oh. Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
This is cool.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What? Oh, I get it. That's deep. It's like a museum? This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. I wonder if there's any secrets here. I don't know. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. What's this say? The two doors. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. This is the office. Room 1, 2, 3. Button sounds, a selection of sounds used throughout the game when the buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. I wonder if there's an order I have to hit those in. Here's the credits. This is weird. Screens from the development of the boss's office. So is this like... This is weird. I guess this is like the development of the game. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Countdown ending. Did we? I don't think we got that one. Monitor room, elevator. Holy cow, this place is huge. Zending model. It's not gonna do too much here. The game is now paused. The escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player is restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Is that a hint? Oh wow. I'm not gonna take the time to do that right now. So I guess maybe there is still an ending? This is... I wonder if this is one of them, or if that one we got last time with the room that kept getting glitched and we kept getting sent back. Maybe there was one there? I don't know. Oh, I went in a circle. Is there a way out of here? I'm gonna take a minute and try to find a way out and see if that's something that can happen. War zone. Oh, that's... This game is meta. Oh, here's the exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
That's interesting. So we're turning the game off? I guess so.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit.
Oh.
There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
I wanted to die. We're still here. Is this the one where I'm supposed to restart?
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Oh, maybe this is.
No, the orders were still missing. For now. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think I'm gonna go back where we were. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see what happens if you quit out of the game there. Alright, I'm back. I made it back to the exit and I'm going to either quit
Oh, look at these two. How they
or
wish to
I'm
destroy
going to
one another.
restart.
How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be
I'm gonna
free.
see if that changes anything.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path.
Alright, let's see. I'm gonna quit to menu. Nope. So that was pretty pointless. I think.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Make sure this is the same.
Stanley worked
Looks like
for a
it's the
company.
same. Alright, this time I'm gonna go and I'm going to get the
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
to the telephone where
Stanley
it's ringing in
decided
the
to
room
go
and
to
I'm
the
gonna
meeting
answer
room.
it this time.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I can't remember what I did. I think I just had to do the opposite of what he said.
When Stanley came to a set of 2
So he goes
open,
to the door
this
on the
was
right.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
What
but
if
the
I jump
fact
off?
is that the story has been about
I'm gonna do
nothing
it.
but you all this time. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I did it! Oh. Hello.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Looks like I missed quite a few memos.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is odd. I'm gonna do the same thing again, and I'm gonna kill myself again and see if
This
that
was
changes
not
it.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I had 2 plans for what
The
I
lounge was
was
sublime,
gonna do,
a work of art.
and I've
But
done neither
eager
of
to
them.
get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one
Maybe
gets
it'll
to
be
tell him
different
what
this
to
time.
do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
No, it's... That's weird. So it's back to normal now.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
I guess. I'm not sure if the narrator is random or if it's based on my decisions.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct
gonna
way to
kill
the
myself
meeting
one
room,
more
and
time.
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's see if that changes anything here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
This time I'm not going to jump off that, I'm going to just jump off here.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
No, this time the papers aren't all over the floor.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
So maybe it's only the first
Stanley
time? So
decided
what
to
if I
go
do
to the
this?
meeting room.
What if I go back to the menu and then go back in?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
Well, okay then.
Yes, really, really. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I don't know why I find that funny.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've got... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
So, the papers aren't here this time, so what did I do different?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct
Alright,
way
I'm
to the
gonna
meeting
get
room,
the- I'm
and
gonna
Stanley
answer the
knew it
telephone.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
And then I'm
employee
gonna
lounge
end
first,
the episode
just
after
to
that.
admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Here we go.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
I knew it.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
And of course it's room 427, and there's a lamp. Does the lamp do anything? Ooh, so do I go in, or do I go down the hallway? Dang, there's so many choices! I'm gonna do it this time.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Of course. Press L on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oh no.
Look at him there, pushing buttons.
I'm Stanley.
Doing exactly what he's told to
I'm
do.
pushing buttons.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I'm not pushing 5. I'm pushing 4. 6. Space. Enter. Escape. Nope. I'm not gonna do it. I'm pushing E. There. Here, hold on. I just pushed 5 on the number pad on the right side of the keyboard. Really? Is that my only choice here? I can't escape? Fine.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press R to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Oh.
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press U.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to be.
I don't know if I should trust you. I don't know what to think anymore.
As he wandered through
course.
this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby.
A game
and
with
he
a
called
baby?
it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I should have been paying attention to the buttons I'm pushing. I'll do that when I edit the video.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Ooh. I'm not gonna push it. I'm pushing every other button. Is this like a chance? Can I don't want to restart here. Guess I'll push it this time.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press F to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried.
Please
again,
die.
and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Oh. I did something. I pushed a button. Oh, and we started over again. Well, geez, this game is deep and complex. I guess. I don't know, is there like a true ending to this, or is it just a whole bunch of different things? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna leave the episode here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.